Hi guys, welcome to our second session for week 2. Hi Sherry. Today we're going to go through the announcements. We're going to talk about responsive web design and SEO, and then we're going to do a demo on assignment 2 and assessment 2. Our next lecture will be Monday at 5:30 p.m. I will be in the SSC on Thursday from 8 to 11 p.m. Mountain Time if any of you need help. Our learning coaches schedule is posted in our classroom announcements. So if you can't come in sometime when I'm there, check out the announcements and look and see when Christy's in the SSC. Don't forget about the summer road test contest, the summer road trip contest. And just a little bit of trivia, did you guys know that yesterday and today are the longest days of the year? It is the first day of summer, the summer solstice. Responsive web design. You think about it, it's kind of like water. You know, it forms to its shape of whatever it's in, and that's what responsive web design does. It forms to whatever browser it's being viewed in. So it will get smaller and get bigger, but not to the point where it gets small. We've all been on websites on our cell phone that shrink down, but then we have to use our thumb to zoom in so we can read the text. An actual responsive website will just reconstruct itself, but still be viewable without having to zoom in. How do marketers engage users on so many screens? Well, with responsive web design. We've all seen it. We all use it all the time. Most likely, everyone in this class at some point or another has pulled up a website on their cell phone, on their tablet, on your desktops, on your laptops. All of those are different screen sizes, and to make a website that fits in those screens just makes great user experience. Because we're happy with it, right? We're not having to try and zoom in or scroll over with our finger so we can read the rest of the line. That sort of thing. The best parts of responsive web design are the fast load times, easy to use navigation, simple and useful designs, and adaptive orientation and resolution. The term flexible or fluid grid is thrown around when discussing a responsive website. But what is a flexible or a fluid grid? When you hear that term, or when you think about that term, what does it say to you? Does it imply to you that it will form to whatever it's being viewed on? It may redesign itself. It may shrink a little. But in essence, it's still readable, usable, and convenient. The fluid grid concept calls for page element sizing to be in relative units, like percentages, rather than absolute units like pixels and points. Flexible images are also sized in relative units so as to prevent them from displaying outside their containing element. Now, those units, those of you that can remember your DS248 or APP242 class, will remember seeing those flexible measurements in Dreamweaver. The EM or the percentage, all of those are flexible measurements. Muse uses adaptive design via a number of static designs that change based on breakpoints in the design. This allows your site to be responsive without adding in the coding of media queries. The breakpoints add the illusion of responsivity as the browser window expands and contracts, and Muse allows the content with pages to expand. And contract responsively with size of the browser. This can be a fallback. Can you hear me again now? Okay, and there's a fallback to this, guys. Muse is not quite as responsive as you will find with HTML, and it's because it uses adaptive design. So let's say you do breakpoints. You do your desktop breakpoint 960. You do a tablet breakpoint at 768. You do the large cell phone, small tablet break at 428. And you do a cell phone size at 320. Well, the problem with that is if you get a tablet or a cell phone that falls between those measurements or outside those measurements, so to speak, then the user may have to do a little bit of scrolling to get the content to fit correctly. And they may have to scroll to the right just a little to finish a line of text or something like that. So keep that in mind. Muse is not perfect, but it's pretty close. Sometimes that just means you as designers, you're going to have to go in and make more than just the basic breakpoints to get the design to work correctly on every single size, tablet, laptop, desktop, cell phones, that sort of thing. You may have to add a few extras in there to meet that in-between size. Media queries allow the page to use different CSS styling rules based on characteristics of the device the site is being displayed on, most commonly the width of the browser. Media queries is a CSS3 module allowing content rendering to adapt to conditions such as screen resolution, like smartphone screens versus computer screens. It became a W3 recommended standard in June 2012 and is a cornerstone technology of responsive web design. Media queries look at the capability of the device and can be used to check many things, such as the width and height of viewport, width and height of devices, orientation, and resolution. If it's still a bit difficult to understand the image explains exactly what a responsive website is. It is fitting that content into whatever shape it's being viewed in, much like when you pour water in a cup or then turn around and pour it in a bottle, same amount of water, but it's going to have a different shape because it takes on the shape that's containing it. What exactly is SEO? SEO stands for, can you recall what it stands for from your previous classes? SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. To recap from the video in your media for this week, words matter, titles matter, links matter, words in links matter, and reputation matters. So what does that mean? Well, words matter because search engine optimization, we use that because every web hoster, every search engine has these little robots. They're like spiders. And they troll all of the websites on the internet. And they're looking for words, like keywords, so to speak. We don't refer to them as keywords because there is a place for keywords. I'm not talking specifically about the keywords. I'm talking about the words on your actual page. Those spiders troll the internet and they gather data about your website, which allows them to put that into a database so that their users on their search engine, when they search something, it will pop up the right websites. So the words on your actual page matter. Make sure they pertain to the company and that you've basically put some keywords in there that will get attention. The words on the home page are more important than any other page on that website. Why? Because those spiders will pay more attention to the home page versus the subpages and child pages. And your titles. Make sure you use custom titles. Don't just use a home about contact, simple titles. Use custom titles. Include the company's name in the title. Or make the titles catchy, depending on the company that you're designing for. But those titles matter, because that SEO gathers all of that information as well. Your links in your site matter. You can improve your SEO by having third-party links in your website. That means linking something on your website to an outside source. But it should always have something to do with that business. There should be some sort of relation there. So let's say you were hired by a tire company to make a website for their company. Well, your third party's links need to pertain to things that have to do with tires. Maybe you link to NASCAR. That's what I'm talking about, the relationship. Those links should always have some sort of relationship to what that website is about. Your words in links. Definitely those words matter. Why? Because those little spiders are gathering all the information from those links. So having word links in your website is very important, because it's just extra SEO, and all this stuff stacks up, and the higher your rank is. Reputation. Make sure your third-party links are reputable. You want to make sure those sites are trustworthy and are not going to give your users viruses, Trojans, worms, that sort of thing. Make sure it's a reputable company that you're linking to. Assignment 2, learning objectives. You're going to design content with an accordion or tabbed panel. Design a contact form that implements good user interface, and identify and implement interactive elements that follow current best practices in web design. Identify and implement animation that follows best practices in web design. So our assignment 2, for this assignment, you will continue to work on the 2-page website we are designing for Independence University Graphic Arts program, what we started last week. We will design the 2nd page this week. The degree page will showcase the different degree programs Independence University offers, the potential careers, and the applications students will learn. There will also be a contact form students can use to reach out to a recruiter to learn more about a specific program. You're going to place the copy into your tabs or accordion panel. You can download the copy from the assignment instructions. There is a link to download it. You will want to use 2 tabs or accordion panels. One for the associate's degree and one for the bachelor's degree. Using public domain image websites or your own images, add at least 1 photo for each of the degrees offered. Part 2 is to select a simple form from the widgets menu and place the form on your degree page. Include the following form fields: name, email, cell phone number, checked box, or drop down for degree the viewer is interested in learning about, the message where they can add comments. Add your email address to the send to field in the widget. You can click the little blue circle to do that. Return the visitor to the home page after they hit send. You're going to automatically return them to the home page. Design the submit button for the following states: normal, rollover, mouse down, and submit in process. Design the form interface to make your website layout a color scheme. Name your Muse file DES 305, assignment 2, last name, first name, last name. Now, if you're going with the naming convention that I told you to use in week 1, your file will just be DES 305 website, your first and last name, so that you do not end up with multiple Muse files when this class is done. It just takes up a lot of memory on your laptops. So just use the same file you used the last week. Instead of making a new one and redoing it all, just use the same file and just save it as DES 305 website, your first and last name. You're going to zip and submit the Muse document for grading. Okay, we're going to hop over and do the assignment demo. And then we will come back and talk about the assessment. Okay, you finished up your home page last week. If there were any changes that I suggested, please make those corrections, because that is a portion of your grade this week, is making those corrections. So now we're going to be working on the degrees page. So the first thing we have to do is our tabbed boxes. So accordions are tabs. Those are going to be under our panels. The accordion is a simple box that you click on each heading and it gives you a drop down. And then of course you have the tab panels. I'm going to choose to use the tab panels. I think it will look better and it will be much more roomier for this page itself. And I'm going to stretch it across my page like that. Now I'm going to get rid of the last one by simply double clicking on it so it's selected. And I'm going to hit my delete key. That leaves me 2 tabs. So our first heading needs to be graphic arts-BS. So I'm going to copy that from our text that you download from the classroom. Double click on that box until I get inside the text. I'm going to paste that here. And then I'm going to change my tab colors. I think, oh, we need to start with ASS. I copied the wrong one. Let's change that. There. And this is my active button. I want to change its colors. Over here in my field. I want to make it blue. Let me make my text white. And then mouse down. Oh, this has got a gray stroke on it. I want to get rid of that. And then my mouse down. I'm going to change it to a blue stroke. And I'm going to make my text blue as well. And then we have the rollover state. White. And my text is going to be blue for the rollover too. Actually, I think I'll make my text red for the rollover. Let's change it up just a little bit. There we go. And then, of course, we have the normal state. Normal state is going to be white with a blue stroke. And blue text. That's opposite of the rollover, right? Let me check this, make sure I did that right. Yes. And as you can see in my preview, there are no lines here or here. So I'm going to fix that so that it looks the way I want it to look. And I'm going to draw a box across here. And I'm going to turn the stroke blue. And it looks like the stroke should be about 2 points. Let's go into preview now. We're getting there. That box isn't quite the right size. And I want to send it to the back. Still a little too close right there. Oops. Still a little wide on that end, but if I make it any smaller, it looks too thin. So maybe I'll just leave the lines across the top there. Change that all together. Let's see. Window. This is the normal state. Let's fill the normal state with red. Active. Normal. That works better. Okay, so now I have my box. I need to change its color. The stroke, I want it to match and be blue. So now we need to get our copy in here and any images we're going to use. I'm going to make my page bigger for now. Got a lot of text that needs to go in here. To make this text box bigger and figure out how I want to do images over here. I think I'll do a banner image up there. Let's see what we can find. Our copy text for the associate's degree program says, this program teaches you the fundamental concepts behind design, as well as how to use the tools of trade. Prepare to become a graphic designer or multimedia artist. So, if I go into Google, and I'm going to see if there's any banner images that I could use here. There is that. To my settings and search free use or share. This would be a good image. So I'm going to save it. Hop back to Muse. File, place, image 6. Oops. I'm going to have to rethink what I'm going to do here. Let's go on a nice size picture though. So I'm going to put a text box up here. And go back to my Word document and I'm going to copy the text for my associate's degree. And I'm going to format it. I want this to be a bit bigger than the rest of the text that's going to be in there, and I want it black. And I'm going to give it some space. Come on. And I'm going to put another text box in here. The next one we have is potential careers. I'll copy this and I'm actually, oops, I'm actually going to put that underneath this picture. Resize this text box. Make my heading. Which one? And then I have my next text box. I'll copy my next section, which is skills learned. And this should be 24 point, and it should be bold. This one bold too, and I want to change the text color. Let's take a look at this and see what we look like. Not liking the way this looks, so let's do some rearranging. This is better. We're getting there. Much better. Let's adjust my font here. Let's drop that down to 14. And drop this one down to 14. Now, I think we're pretty close. Let me make one last adjustment right here to get my text lined out nice and neatly. And then scale up the bottom of my box, add a little bit of white space there. It's okay, Tamisha. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. We still have some space over here. I think we could scoot this over a little bit. Add more of a gap there. That looks better. I didn't get my line inside my box though. Okay, so cut. I'm sorry. Okay, but as you noticed, I did all that on the wrong tab. It should have been in the. What I'm going to do, since my setup is going to be the exact same on both tabs, I kind of want to keep that branding, so to speak, pretty much the same. I'm going to go back in here, delete, and then edit in place. What is keeping me over here? This. Yeah, if you need 2 masters, you can have 2 masters. So if your sub pages are, or your degree page is designed a little bit differently, then absolutely, you can change and have a second master to apply to just that page. And now let's take a look. Okay, there's my associate's degree. We are looking better. And so now we need to work on the bachelor's degree. I'm going to double click that until I get into the text. Copy the heading. Paste it in there. And then copy that opening paragraph that goes up here. Potential careers. Paste that here. and skills learned. And that's going to go here. And now let's take a look. Got a bit of an issue here. You shouldn't be bouncing around like this. Up here. My line is there. My text is there. Here. And end of my line is here. Into my text box here. I'm going to get my line the same, so I'm going to go back to this box and copy it. Edit, paste in place. Text box should end there. This text box should be down here. Now let's see what we got. Much better. Our text is moving and our image is moving. I need to fix that. There. Oops. There we go, like that. Now I need to find a new image. I actually have an image I'm going to use here. I'm going to go into my CC libraries. That image isn't quite big enough. Let's see, I have another image here we can replace it with. That will work. So now let's look at our preview. Something has happened weird to my buttons though. There we go. And there's our 2 different degree plans. I'm going to scoot all this down just a little bit here to add some white space underneath that line. And I think on the bachelor's degree program, I'm going to make this line blue instead of red. And we've got too much white space at the bottom, so let's go back again and look at this. Fix that. That's some white space. We're going to add some more white space. We have a form coming in here. I think that looks pretty good. So now we have all of our text and we need to work on the form. So you're going to go into your widgets library. You're going to open up the forms panel and you're going to go simple contact. You're going to bring it out, line it up here, and then you're going to reformat it. Now, according to our instructions, we have to have name, email, cell phone number, a checkbox or drop down for degree the viewer is interested in learning about, and then a place for our comments. So we have the name, email, we don't have a phone number. I need a cell phone number and single line checkbox, radio buttons, checkbox group, multi-line text. I'm going to do a checkbox group. So now I need to rearrange this. Name, email, messages, but I don't want it to be just little bitty right here. So I'm going to change some things around. This is going to come up right beside that. My radio group is going to come up right beside that. And I want to add one more. I think I'm going to add a home phone number to this option too. Actually, I don't think we need this. I don't know what to do. I do it here. This checkbox kind of throws everything off, though. I think I will change this around just a little bit. Here, bring this here. And I'm going to space them out a little bit more. And make the boxes just a tad bit bigger. That's looking better. Oops. And then move my submit button here and my message received. I want to put them over here. Now then, I'm really going to customize this box. Send it back. My message box needs to be white. Now let's take a look at what we have. I'm going to play around with my button a little bit. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Let's take a look. I need to add some white space there at the bottom, and then we need to make sure the form has my email address. By clicking that circle, you just put your email address right here. And then after sending, we need to go back to the home page. So we're going to click home. This box looks a little bit wider than it should. Let's see if we can fix that. There we go. And there is my degree page. So now that is the assignment, guys. So let's go back to our PowerPoint and let's talk about the assessment. Your week 2 assessment, the learning objective is to test and publish the responsive portfolio website live on the internet. For this assessment, you will make the website you designed responsive. Add a breakpoint width of 768 for iPad viewing. Adjust the menu, images, text, and footer to fit the new interface. Add a breakpoint width at 360 for mobile viewing. Download the mobile menu library file and import it into Muse. Hide the interactive menu. Drag the mobile menu file to the master. Design the mobile menu. Hide the mobile menu and other breakpoints. You only need to show it in the 360 point. And then all images must have alt tags for SEO. All pages must have titles, descriptions, and metadata for SEO. You're going to upload the website to a web server. You can use Business Catalyst. It's very easy to do from Muse. Submit the URL for your live website. Copy and paste from the address bar in your browser. Make sure it is not pointing to the file on your hard drive, but the server on the web where you have hosted it. Name your Muse file, DES305 assessment, your last name. Submit the URL and zip Muse file to this assessment to be graded. So I need the URL and your zip file. Again, on the naming convention. If you're using what I told you to use in week 1, then it should be DES305 website, your first and last name. That way you only have one Muse file and you work on it every week. So let's go back and get everything set up. So back to Muse we go. So the first things we're going to do is the SEO. Starting with the SEO in your regular size will be much easier than having all your breakpoints in there. So you need to add your alt tags, and you need to add titles and descriptions for every page. So I'm going to close my preview, close my degree page, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my titles. You can right-click on the thumbnail in Plan View and go to Page Properties, choose the home page first, and click on Metadata. This is where your description will go. So on the description, you could do one of two things. You could open up your nice home page and find a sentence or something that would work for your description. like, there's part of it. I'm gonna have to paste this in a Word document because I used 2 text boxes on that page. Copy. Go, and then this end of this sentence. I'm going to copy that sentence. I'm going to use this sentence in my actual description. So I'm going to go back to Plan View now. Right click, Page Properties. Under my description, I'm going to paste my sentence. The Online School of Graphic Arts at Independence University will help you learn how to create richer, better visual experience for diverse audiences. And Independence University is an accredited school to learn the new technology and techniques for being a successful graphic designer. And I'm going to hit OK. And I need to work on my title. So Page Properties again. And this time your titles are done under the Option tab. See where it says Page Options, Page Name, Page Title. Right now, the same as page name is checked, but we talked about this earlier. Make sure your page titles, not the name of the page, but the actual title is something more than simply home. In this case, I'm going to call it what it is. Independence University. Now, I happen to know I'm going to put this on every single page. So, in order to make it quicker, there's a shortcut in use. If you go to your master page and right-click and go to Page Properties and go to your metadata, it will ask you for a page title prefix. Well, every single one of my pages, I want it to say Independence University. And I wanted to have a little marker for the page name. I'm going to hit OK. Now, what happens? If we view this in my browser, if we view this page, you notice up here it now says Independence University Home. If I click on degrees, it says Independence University Degrees. So now we need to do our SEO. I'm going to go into my home page. Let's start with our master pages. Go into my master page. First thing, your logo, you need to also link it to your home page. That's good user experience. We all know if we're on a website and we get stuck, we can usually click on the logo and it takes us back to their home page. Make sure you link your logo to your home page, and you do that by selecting it, going up to where it says hyperlinks, and go to the drop down next to it and just choose home. That's all you have to do. And that's done. So close my master and start on my home page. So now in your slideshow, those of you that turned off your buttons, you are going to need to turn them back on momentarily. Let's open my previous and next buttons. Let's see where it puts them. Oops. I'm gonna have to find them. Looks like I put them at the bottom. I'm gonna open my layers panel for a second. There's my buttons. Okay, I'm gonna turn off those layers just for a moment so that I can get my alt tags on the images in my slideshow. So here's the first one. Double click it until it's selected. And then right click and go to Edit Image Properties. Right there is the alternative text, your alt text. And give it a description. And then you can just go down to your button and hit the next button or the previous button. And edit image properties again and enter the new alt text. And make up your alt text. What does that image say to you? That's the kind of description you're using. Because what is alt text used for? It's not just used for SEO. It's also used for accessibility. Those people that are using screen readers, especially the blind or the eyesight or their eyesight's impaired and they're using a screen reader, well, their screen reader will read this alternate text to them so they know what's supposed to be there. Or if for some reason an image doesn't load, it will show your alternative text. Once you've done all your alt text, then you can go back and turn off your buttons so they're not there anymore. And then I'm going to turn back on my layers that I turned off so I can finish doing my alt text. So I have one more image on this page. I'm going to select it, right click, image properties, and so that does it for my home page. That's all my alt text. I'm going to close that and we're going to do the same thing to my degree page. I have one image under each tab. And then I have one under the associate's degree program. There's my alt text for that one. So that is my SEO. Except for, we didn't do the description for our degree page, did we? Which properties? There's my description. Independence University offers and associates and bachelor's degree and graphic design. All classes can be attended online around your work life schedule. There's my description. So now our SEO is done. So now we're going to work on our breakpoints. We need to create our mobile menu first. So once you've downloaded, it's included in the directions under the assessment. You can download the mobile menu. Once you've downloaded it, you're going to open your library tab, not the widget library, but the actual library tab. You're going to click it. And you're going to go to the very bottom and see that little book icon that has the arrow. That's your import use library. I'm going to click that button, go to my downloads, and find the download. And it is called MusePen Mobile. Oops, I passed it. There it is, MusePen Mobile. And you're going to hit open. You're going to get this nice little pop-up box. Just give it a moment. It will install the widget into that library so you can actually use it. It'll tell you when it's done. Okay, I have a musepen.com. There is the Muse mobile widget. So I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to drag it out here to my artboard. It looks just like this. Click, edit together. Well, let's see what that looks like in the preview. Well, look at that. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? We definitely need to customize that, but for now, it's fine. And I'm going to hide it in my desktop view. So I'm going to right-click on it, select it, right-click on it, and I want to hide in breakpoint. I'm going to hide it in that breakpoint because this is our desktop. Now, our directions tell us, that we need to make our first breakpoint at 768. So I'm going to go up here to this purple bar. If for some reason you do not see this purple bar, you can go up to Windows. No, View. I'm sorry. Go to View, and it will say Show Breakpoints right here instead of Hide. Click on Show Breakpoints, and it will open up this purple breakpoint bar. So once that's open, I'm going to right click on that purple bar and I'm going to do add breakpoint. I need a breakpoint at 768. 768 and hit OK. There is my breakpoint. Now, I need to make a few adjustments. My copyright needs to be scooted over a bit. My logo needs to go over. This needs to come over just a little bit. Which means I need to bring this over just a tad too. So there's my 768 breakpoint on my master page. You have to do this to every single page on your website, not just one page. You have to do it to all of them. So I have my 768. The next one is the 360. So I'm going to right click again and do add breakpoint. And this time, 360. There's my mobile view. Definitely have some issues in this view. Going to expand my footer there so it looks right. This menu needs to be hidden. My logo is way too small. Shrink this down. And then I need to re-add. This needs to come over just a tad like that. I want to re-add my widget. So I'm going to open it up. There's my mobile widget. Drag it out. Resize this to fit the way I want. And then I'm going to change the color. So normal state. In normal state, my buttons should be white with red text. I'm going to go white. With red text. And that's it. White with text. So that's normal. Roll over. The text changes to blue. And mouse down. The outline also changes to blue. Oh, we have a bit of a problem. Come on, both of them. You have to play with this menu bar a little bit, guys. It's just kind of picky until you get it exactly the way you want it. There we go. Okay, so I've got normal, mouse over, mouse down. I want it to be white. And I want my text blue. And active. It's supposed to be blue. White text. Oops, somehow I got active. There we go. I'm going to delete the word mobile menu. And it won't let me inside the little box, so it is going to be black until I put a square around it. And I'm going to fill it with white. And whoops. There we go. So now I'm going to preview it. I need to hide that in my breakpoints. Let's go backwards. So 768. Need to go hide in breakpoint. And hide in breakpoint. And same with my desktop. Hide in breakpoint. Hide in breakpoint. Now let's preview it. So if I scale my muse down, I'm going to watch it go through the size changes. Let's see if it'll get small enough to change. It won't get small enough to change. So I'm going to have to view it in my browser. Preview site in browser. Okay, so here's the site. Now if I scale my browser down, looks like I have a few more changes I need to work on. We still didn't get my cell phone to pop up though. That widget may only work. That should be 360. Back to Muse. That widget may only work when it's actually live. But let's go back and check it just to make sure. It's there. $360, yes. Okay, so that's my master page. So now you're going to do the exact same thing on your home. Now, when you open your home page, you're going to see these little marks. You have to add breakpoints there. So add breakpoint. We know it's 768. and rearrange the things that you need to rearrange. I need to fix my slideshow so that it's on the page again. I'm going to stretch my heading just a little bit, and I'm going to make that text smaller. Now, before you start changing text, you need to make sure that see these little icons right over here? Let me grab my pencil and circle these for you. These icons right here. Make sure the big T is on top and not the 4 little t's, because if you change text with these 4 t's on top, it will change the text in every single breakpoint. Pull the big T up and it will only change it in the breakpoint you are in. So now I'm going to change the size of my text a little bit. It was 24 there. I'm going to bring it down to 18. And I'm going to decide whether or not I need to make any additional changes. I'm going to go back to my slideshow. This needs to come up. I'm going to pull this down. I think I'll change the layout altogether on this just a little bit. So I'm going to make this bigger. Instead of smaller, I'm actually going to go a little bit bigger. And I'm going to rearrange and play with some space in here. This should be a bit smaller. I'm going to select all of this. Move my image up. So my text box here. Okay, so everything at this size looks good. So I go back to 960, this is what you would see. If you brought it up on a tablet, this is what you would see. And then make my last breakpoint at 360. Definitely need some work here, huh? So first I'm going to grab this text box and bring it down. I'm going to readjust my slideshow. Grab my text box here. And I'm going to resize some font in this screen. And I'm going to do a custom size here. Too big. I'm going to have to redo this text altogether because I'm not doing an image wrap. So how do I do that? I'm going to go back and I am going to open up the file for the copy on the home page, because I'm going to have to re-put this text on here. I'm simply going to click on this text box and go hide and breakpoint, grab my type tool, and I'm going to make a new text box. And repaste that text. That, and then go down here. Here's my line. There's my image. This text definitely needs to be smaller. And my button. I'm just going to realign it all on here. And there's my cell phone size. I want to work on my slideshow just a little bit. I want it to stay on the page as well and to stretch like that. So there's my slideshow. Now everything needs to be bumped up just a little bit. And looks like I need to go back to my master page. My header is marked incorrectly on cell phone. I'm going to pull that back up. Check my tablet view. It's fine. It's just a cell phone. Close that. Go back to my home page. There it is. I'm going to select everything. And I'm going to bump it all up just a little bit. Like that. So there is my cell phone view. My footer. I'm going to add a little bit of white space there. So there is my home page. This version also needs to be fixed. I think we'll do the tablet view just the same way. I'm going to do hide and break point. Hide and break point. Stretch my text box. My text box to match my slideshow there. I don't think it'll be necessary. I think we can do just like that. I'm going to select these pieces. I'm going to drag this down. My blue bar needs to come down. The text box needs to go back up. Some more text there. No, it's just, I think I hit the wrong text box. Let's see. There we go. I think I accidentally deleted it. Oops. Okay. Select everything. Deselect that text box. I'm going to move this down out of the way for a second and go here. Select all of this again and move it back up and align it. And I'm going to stretch that image. I need to show my buttons so I can look at the rest of my images. Previous, next. Layers. There they are. Double select it till I get that brown boundary box. And I'm going to scale this image, holding my shift key down until I get it the size I want it. Then my next image, same thing, I'm going to double click it. until I get it, that brown bounding box, and I'm going to basically customize this slideshow in this breakpoint. Here, here, and one more time with this one. And then turn off my buttons. Oh, I'll turn back on my layers. Hard breakpoint. Hard break. Oops, wrong one. Lock that one. Hard breakpoint. There we go. So there's tablet, desktop. And in desktop, I need to hide this one in breakpoint. So desktop, tablet, cell phone. Looking pretty good so far. Our desktop version, we seem to have an issue with, though. Something happened. Here we go. That looks good. Okay, so that's home. Done. Now the breakpoints for your degrees page. Add breakpoint, 768. Take a look at everything, see how it looks. Definitely have a bit of an issue here, don't we? So add a little bit of, oops, add a little bit of a space here for my footer. And I'm going to select this entire box. And I'm going to bump it up a little bit. Like that. And then add my next breakpoint, which is at 360. Right. We've got to make some major adjustments here. This needs to come over into the box like that. We go. Go through here and select. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Going to pull this down. And I'm going to make this text a little smaller now. We'll pull it down to 15 point, puts it all on one line. Pull my blue line back up. My image up. Skills up. I'm going to make this smaller. Bring it down to, oops. 18 is still too big. 17 will work. Potential careers. And this should be 17 as well. Still too big. 15. So I'm going to go back and do skills learned. I want to make sure my headings match. Looks like I forgot to mark that one as a heading. And then I'm going to take this text. Is it 14, 12? I'm going to make it 12 point. I think we may need to rethink this layout altogether. And I'm going to do skills right underneath it. And then we have the contact form. Now, I can't rearrange through this contact form because if I rearrange it in one breakpoint, it will rearrange it in all of them, and you can't prevent that. So I am going to hide it in this breakpoint, and I'm going to make a new form for the cell phone version. Pull this down. That. It's going to actually go up. I'm going to move that text out of the way for a second and go back into my widgets library, and I'm going to use a new form. I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to add the things to it that I need to add to it. I need the cell phone number, and I need a checkbox group. And then I need to do some rearranging. So I'm going to grab, oops, cell phone needs to come up here. My checkbox group needs to come up. My message needs to come down here. And we're still not down far enough, so oops. Submit button and that little text box. We're going to make some room here. And then grab my cell phone box and bring it down. And then realign everything. Button, my little text box. Change all my text to white. There we go. And now resize that blue box. It still needs to be a little bit bigger. And my button, it needs to be wide, but I want the text. Let's go back a breakpoint. It should be red. That's what I thought. Fill. And text white. And roll over. Text should be blue. Mouse down. Text should be red. I want that text white. And I'm going to hide that in breakpoint. Select the whole thing and move it up just a little. Add some white space. And now I need to rework this one. I made this text box 15 points. Don't forget to do both tabs. Big picture. And then skills learned. Potential careers here, here. And text is 17. All right. I'm gonna make it 18. 18. 18. Yeah, move my box up. I need to add a little bit more white space here. There we go. I think we're good. So let's look back at the laptop. Desktop. Yes. That looks good. So that is your breakpoints, your SEO. So part 3 was uploading to a live web server. We're going to use Muse. Let me clear my screen here. So once you get all your breakpoints done, all of your SEO done and you have rearranged your site so it looks good in all of the views, you're going to go to File, and you're going to go to Publish to Business Catalyst. And give it a name. I'm just going to do Independence in my first and last name. And you're going to get this little box, and it's going to show you the progress of it uploading your site. And it's going to open automatically into your web browser. It's like this. And you're going to see your page. Check your buttons. Make sure everything that's supposed to work works. Oh, look at that. We have an issue. We forgot to hide something in a breakpoint, looks like. So let's go back to Muse. And that was on our degree page. So let's take a look at this. Let's go back to desktop view. It's where we put in that other menu. Simply hide and breakpoint. Desktop, laptop, hide and breakpoint. But it should be there. Okay, and I'm just going to go back up again and go to Publish to Business Catalyst. And it's going to say that it contains links. If you scaled an image smaller or slightly larger than its original size, you're going to get that message. You can just ignore it. When this Publish to Business Catalyst comes up, this area is going to be grayed out because it's just updating your files. So just hit OK, and it'll update your files and put them in the exact same spot it was before. And once again, it'll open automatically for you into your web browser. I'm going to close out all these other tabs I have. And here's your site. Go through it, make sure everything looks correct. Nothing looks funny. Check your buttons. Make sure they work. If you're using Firefox or Chrome, you can go into the developer tools. In Chrome, you go to more tools and then developer tools. In Firefox, when you click on the little icon up here in the top right-hand corner in Firefox, I'm in Chrome right now, but in Firefox, it will say developers tools right down here by help. In Chrome, they're under more tools. Once you click in developer tools, we can actually see the responsiveness of our page. So let's check some sizes here. iPhone 5, that's 320, that's smaller. We don't have a breakpoint at that size, so this is what's going to happen. If somebody's using a cell phone, that's a 320 screen size. This is exactly what they're going to see, and they're going to have to do that awful scrolling right to left. See, our menu bar is working when it's online. So let's try the iPhone 6. Still doesn't work. What about the iPhone 6 Plus? We're at 414. We're not quite there yet. This is the fallback with Muse. I can go to responsive, and if I go up here and type in 360, come on, resize. Now I'm not working correctly. Refresh. 360. Refresh. Now my responsive grid is not working correctly, guys. Come on. iPad Pro. Nope, I'm not working right. Let's see. That's better. Sort of, but this is 960 pixels. You should be able to see it all. Three, 6, 0. Oops, not 260. It's my responsive grid that's not working correctly. Okay, so my developer tools are not working right at the moment. You can also check it by simply scaling your screen. And you're going to see it adjusting itself. Now, the mobile menu will not pop up unless you are using the developer tools because it's triggered by the media query. That's the only reason I don't like using that specific plugin. I prefer to make my own responsive menu. I'll get into showing you guys that. For this week, use the plugin because that's part of the assignment. But as before the end of the mod, I will show you guys how to make your own responsive plugin. So it's not, it will automatically pop up on the breakpoint that it's in, and it's not inclusive. That way, if anybody's scaling their browser, they will be able to see your responsiveness. Whereas right now, it's a little responsive, but that menu doesn't pop up. Instead, our buttons just get smaller, which isn't too bad in this case because it's only 2 buttons. But it would be nice if the mobile menu would pop up and I could show you guys how to make it work. Let's see if my developer tools are working now. There it goes. Now it's working. And now if you click the drop down menu, there it is. Still not working perfectly, but at least it's viewable now. And now it's not. Something must be going on with Chrome's developer tools. But you get the general idea. And that's how you upload it to Muse. This web address is what you're going to copy and paste in the comments box where you submit your zipped Muse file. You have to include the URL where you uploaded it. So just copy and paste that into the comments box and then upload your file and submit it. Any questions, guys? Again, if you need help, I will be in the SSC on Thursday from 8 to 11 and on Friday from 4 to 11 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you get stuck, if one of the widgets is giving you trouble when you're trying to resize it, you guys seen the trouble I was having with the tab box. It's kind of delicate. You have to be patient with it and a little at a time until you get what you want. But if you have too much trouble with it, come in and see me in the SSC and let me walk you through it and help you troubleshoot it. I'm sharing my Student Success Center hours are not in the announcements, no, because we have a class learning coach. Her schedule is in the announcements. I will be there on Thursday and Friday from 4 to 11. Christy's schedule is posted in our announcements on when she's in the SSC. All right, guys, and we will call it a night. Have fun with this and just be patient and just work through it kind of methodically. Do all of your SEO stuff first, then do all of your breakpoints. Don't try to skip around because you'll end up forgetting to do something. So kind of be methodical about it. Go through each part and just be patient and just work with it. If you run into trouble, let me know. Either come see me or send me an email so we can find a time to get together. Yeah, you're essentially, guys, you're doing exactly what I just did, just on your own work. Okay, guys, I will see you next week. You too. Bye, guys.